This is the skeleton of right foot. This is the dorsal surface of the dorsum of foot, and this is the plantar surface of the foot. So if it is a dorsal surface of the right leg, it will be the medial border, it will be the lateral border. The medially placed bone, this one is the talus. The laterally placed bone, this one is the calcaneum. Anterior to talus, this is the navicular bone. Anterior to calcaneum, this one is the cuboid bone. Now anterior to navicular, we have three bones. You can see here 1, 2, 3. The most medial one, obviously it is the medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform, and lateral cuneiform. Among these three, we can say this medial cuneiform. This medial cuneiform is the largest. The intermediate cuneiform is the smallest. This is the intermediate cuneiform, which is present. We cannot see properly here. So it is the intermediate cuneiform, the smallest one. The intermediate cuneiform is smallest because it has we can see that the second metatarsal is longest. So in order to accommodate the proximal end of the second metatarsal bone, the size of the intermediate cuneiform is smaller. And here we can see that a socket is formed. The articulation is very tightly done, so it is not properly visible, but there is a socket is formed here between the base of the first metatarsal bone, the proximal portion, sorry, the distal portion of this intermediate cuneiform, and the base of the third metatarsal. In the socket, the base of the second metatarsal bone fits, and as the length of the second metatarsal bone is highest and it is the most fixed bone, it is most commonly injured, and that injury is called March fracture. It is called March fracture. Now now coming to the tuberosities, two important tuberosities are there. This is the navicular bone anterior to talus. So on the medial side of this navicular bone, there is the navicular tuberosity. We can see here this is the navicular tuberosity, which gives an insertion to tibialis posterior muscle. Though tibialis posterior has many more insertions, one of them is this medial. On the medial side, the tuberosity on the medial side of the navicular bone, the navicular tuberosity. This is the fifth metatarsal. This is the fifth metatarsal. And on the lateral side of the fifth metatarsal, there is one more tuberosity. This gives attachment to peroneus brevis. This gives attachment to peroneus brevis, and the dorsum of the fifth metatarsal, this gives attachment to peroneus tertius. Now about the peroneus tertius, and one more thing is that on the posterior surface of calcaneum, this is the calcaneum bone. On the posterior surface of calcaneum, there will be the insertion of tendoachilles or calcaneal tendon, which is a cumulative tendon for gastrocnemius, soleus, and plantaris. Now there is a groove. We can see there is a groove. The groove is visible from here. This is the talus bone. So a groove is there on the posterior side. A groove is there. We can see that a groove is there. This is the groove. The groove is there between the two tubercles, and this groove gives passage to the flexor hallucis longus tendon. Now if you trace this tendon on the plantar surface, this is the calcaneum bone, and this part is the medial projection of the calcaneum, which is sustaining the talus. So it is the sustentaculum talli, which gives insertion to tibialis posterior also. Now if we see on the medial side of the calcaneum, on the under surface of this sustentaculum talli, there is another groove. We can see from here that there is another groove on the under surface of this sustentaculum talli on the medial surface of the calcaneum. This is the region which is giving passage to the flexor hallucis longus tendon. So flexor hallucis longus tendon is coming through the groove on the posterior surface of the talus, this groove, through this groove, and then it is going passing through this groove, and then it is going through the groove on the under surface of the sustentaculum talli. This is about the flexor hallucis longus. Next, if we see, this is about the flexor hallucis longus tendon. Now what are the one more thing is that the medial projection of the sustentaculum is done. Now about the peroneus longus muscle. The peroneus longus is the most important muscle. The peroneus longus muscle is the muscle of lateral compartment of leg. So it is coming laterally. If we see, it is coming laterally. Now it is coming laterally, and then through this region, it is the base of the fifth metatarsal bone. Through this region, it is going to the plant. It is entering the plantar surface from the it is coming from the lateral side and going to the plantar surface. This bone is the cuboid bone. So as the peroneus longus comes to the plantar surface, it first passes through the groove of the cuboid bone. So we can see here that a groove is there. This is the groove. We can see this is the groove. This is the groove for the cuboid bone. Through this groove of the cuboid bone, it is going towards the medial side, and ultimately it gets inserted to this medial cuneiform and to the base of the first metatarsal bone. So it is passing through this groove and ultimately going and inserted towards the going towards the medial side, and ultimately gets inserted to this medial cuneiform and the base of the first metatarsal bone. Now the point is, as this peroneus longus is a muscle of the lateral compartment, it is coming like this. arching from the lateral side and ultimately getting inserted to the bones on the medial side. So when this muscle will contract, it will create a huge torque that will bring the foot in everted position, which makes this peroneus longus a very strong everter of foot. This is about the peroneus longus. Now one very important ligament is that is the spring ligament. The spring ligament is present here on the plantar surface of the foot, which is present between the sustaendiculum tali and this navicular bone. And if we see that in between there is the head of talus, so it is also supporting the head of talus, and the spring ligament, as it is present on the plantar surface between the sustaendiculum tali and this navicular, it is also known as the plantar calcaneo-navicular ligament. And it is also we can say major ligament for the medial longitudinal arch also. This is the medial side, medial longitudinal arch also. This is about the spring ligament. Now one more thing is that about the bifurcate ligament. Now let us come to this dorsum of foot. Here we can see a bifurcate ligament means bifurcation will be there. So this bifurcate ligament is actually originating from the non-articular surface of the calcaneum bone on the superior aspect. From the non-articular surface on the superior aspect from the calcaneum bone, a bifurcate ligament is coming, which is getting attached to this navicular bone, or we can say the on this navicular bone, and on the dorsal surface of the navicular bone. This is the dorsal surface of the navicular bone, and also on the medial side of the dorsal surface of this cuboid bone. So this is the bifurcate ligament. One attachment here, one attachment here. So bifurcation is there. Bifurcation. So this is bifurcate ligament, and this bifurcate ligament may be injured when there is extreme inversion injury of foot, along with when the foot is plantar flex, then this will be injured. The nutrient artery to the talus comes from the comes dorsally and goes proximally. So it comes like this, comes from the dorsal side and goes proximally. So comes from the dorsal side and goes proximally. So if there is a fracture of the neck of the talus, then this dorsal portion will be spared because the artery is coming from here only, but this proximal portion will be damaged. It will undergo avascular necrosis. This will undergo what? Avascular necrosis. And now coming to what are the structures attached to the sustaendiculum tali. This is the sustaendiculum tali. This to this region, sustaendiculum tali, spring ligament will be attached. We can have mentioned already, the spring ligament will be attached from the sustaendiculum tali to this navicular bone like this. So if we observe from this part, it will be attached like this, the spring ligament. Next is the tibialis posterior. This tibialis posterior muscle will be, we have mentioned tibialis posterior has two attachments here. One on this sustaendiculum tali, one on this is the navicular tuberosity present on the medial side. This is the navicular bone. On the medial side of this navicular bone, we have the navicular tuberosity. So second one is the tibialis posterior attachment on this sustaendiculum tali, also on this navicular tuberosity, second attachment. Third attachment is behind this for tibialis posterior, there is talocalcaneal ligament. We can say this is the talus calcaneum. So here will be talocalcaneal ligament. Fourth one, inferior to this tibialis posterior and talocalcaneal ligament, there will be superficial fibers or the middle fibers of the deltoid ligament. The deltoid ligament, superficial or middle fibers of the deltoid ligament will also be attached somewhere here. So these are the structures which are attached to this sustaendiculum tali. And one more thing that is very important to mention here, that along the medial margin of the sustaendiculum tali, we can say along the medial margin of the sustaendiculum tali, you can see here along the medial margin of the sustaendiculum tali, there is attachment of tibialis posterior, and this tibialis posterior, it will move further. Now if we see, as it is moving further, here is spring ligament is present between the sustaendiculum tali and is navicular, so that this tibialis posterior will pass under the spring ligament, or we can say the tibialis posterior will be more superficial to this spring ligament. So it also says that it is the support for spring ligament from inferior aspect by tibialis posterior, and it will ultimately gets inserted to many bones. Here we can see the point to remember is that this tibialis posterior will be inserted to all bones except talus, and it will be inserted to all tarsals except talus, and it will be inserted to all metatarsal except the first metatarsal and the fifth metatarsal. So obviously so what are the insertions? It will be inserted to this navicular, it will be inserted to this cuboid bone, it will be inserted to the medial, intermediate and lateral cuneiform, and also to the basis of second, third and fourth metatarsal bone. So this is all about the tibialis posterior.